you had a short-term vision for sport, what would you see over the next 2 or 3 years? How would it be framed a bit differently?
Well, I think I think we would take advantage of this idea that people are fully implicated in sport, and by that I mean it's not, and maybe it never has been, but it's certainly not a service. It's not something where someone else does it for us and we go and get it. We Canadians, citizens, provide it for one another through all of our volunteering and through the way we actually participate with one another, and so because of that we have a huge opportunity to do a whole lot more. We understand that sport provides the opportunity for hockey and soccer and all that, great, but we'd spend less time thinking about what else goes on Tuesday nights in the basement of the rec center when people meet and sort through how to make decisions, what's in the public interest, how do we involve everybody, which, when you step back a step, is not unlike democracy at work in the big stage. And a colleague has described it as an elementary school for democracy. It's the first place that 75% of our volunteers go to volunteer for the first time. It's involves more volunteers than any other domain. It bucks the trend in a way towards service orientation, this expectation that someone else will provide for us, the state or a private sector provider would provide for us something. So what? So if we have that asset now, we have almost 40,000 such organizations across the country. What can you do with that? And we can think about what we can do for newcomers to Canada. We can think about how we can promote gender equity in real ways. We can think about what it means for our approach to skills development, not just the skills of sport, but the skills of leadership, the skills of negotiation, the skills of all these things that are part of what we're trying to do. And in Canada, and at the same time, we run straight into and provide an asset for the biggest public policy challenge that we face. What do we do with the health care budget that's racing away on us and could absorb almost completely provincial budgets if we don't buck the trend? So those are those opportunities. So the short-term vision is you take those, you position the sector as both at the same time, both a great thing to do, sport in and of itself a real asset, and you turn to its potential. I guess the final part of that vision, because we're hosting the games, and it's a once-in-a-generation opportunity, and because of the nature of Canadian athletes, who for whatever reasons have resisted the prima donna factor and have become sort of full citizens in the best of ways and are our greatest communicators. I mean, which parent doesn't want their child to meet, Becky Scott or Clara Hughes or, so if they're our great communicators, can we over the next year turn them onto this? I mean, maybe they're already there, and we just need to give the license to go out and talk about this. And then think of what you have. You have the best of a high-performance sports system, exemplifying excellence on the one hand, communicating this broader public benefit of good sport to the degree that it can take on many of the big challenges that the province is facing and Canada is facing. So can we do that? Are we up for that next year? That's the test, I think, the leadership test for the sector.